Well, what is up, MyFi listeners? Gosh, so glad to be back with you guys. Hope you had a great holiday season. Welcome to 2023. This is our first episode of the year, and I'm super excited. Dylan Nash from Liily, great LA-based band. I can't wait to tell you guys all about them. Great hang with him today in this episode. But first, just hit subscribe wherever you're at. YouTube, Google Podcast, Stitcher. Obviously, we're on Apple and Spotify and all that stuff. And just hit subscribe, man. It helps us out. And we got some goals this year. We want to grow as a podcast. We got incredible interviews set up for these first few months of the year. Going to do a couple a month and then sprinkle some bonus episodes in. So it's going to be great. Can't wait. Let's get into it. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Man, I hope you guys had a good holiday. I sure did. Took a couple weeks off and went and visited some family and hung out and had some downtime. Wasn't on social media too much. Really tried to kind of disconnect, a little bit. And hopefully you got to do that as well. I did, however, do some record shopping. One of the things I love to do when I'm home is hit a couple of local record shops where I'm from over in Louisiana. And so, I hit a couple of those and was just going to talk about a few of the records that I acquired. Some were Christmas gifts. Giving music for Christmas is always great. Go buy some music from your local record shops and give it away or keep it and listen to it. I don't care what you do, but just go support a local record store. You know what I'm saying? We got one here I love called Cardin Records here in North Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. And then back home, a little shop of music. My friend Scott owns that place and love it. It's in Northwest Louisiana there. So I don't know what your shop is, but go find it, support it. All right. But let's talk about it because a few of these records I've looked for a little while, and maybe you got some records. We'll do a little thing on social this week and talk about some of the records maybe we got during the holiday season as gifts or whatnot. So, but I'll tell you, I'm going to go down a few of these. One was the Bartees Strange album, Farm to Table. I mentioned that in the bonus episode at the end of 2022 in talking about my top 10 albums of the year. This Bartees Strange, great Oklahoma guy originally, but based in DC. And this album, Farm to Table, my wife actually bought me the vinyl for Christmas, and I had just been wearing it out. It's really like really hard to categorize in terms of a genre. Spans a lot of stuff. Really cool vibe. I hear some TV on the radio in it. I hear some punk rock in it. I hear some R&B in it. His voice is just fantastic. Songwriting's great. It's a great record. And sometimes more modern albums may not translate to vinyl quite as well, because they're recorded digitally. But I don't know, man. This record sounds amazing to me. So whoever did the mastering and all that sort of stuff for vinyl did a fantastic job. Encourage you. I mean, stream it. Go listen to the record, but check it out. Also picked up. My brother sometimes will grab me records when he sees them, and then I get like a stack of them, from him for Christmas. He's a good dude. So, when this year, or in 2022, I should say, last year, we lost Coolio, the rapper Coolio. And growing up in the 90s, I was in high school in the 90s. Coolio had a lot of hits. Gangster's Paradise, Fantastic Voyage, all that stuff. So we listened to a ton of that stuff and had a blast, have a lot of memories to that music. And Record Store Day last year, they did a re-release of Coolio's album. I think it was his first album, It Takes a Thief. And got a copy of that from my brother for Christmas. He also got me a copy of Kiss Revenge, which is my favorite Kiss album. I talked about this a little bit on the episode last year with Todd Kearns, who plays bass for Slash and for Bruce Kulick. Todd is Bruce's bass player as well. And Kiss Revenge was non-makeup Kiss. And so sometimes people are like, oh, why do you like that? Hardcore, like makeup Kiss people. But Bruce Kulick is an amazing guitar player, and that was one of the first reasons. But that record's just really cool. And the copy that I got is signed by Bruce because it was like a 30th anniversary pressing of Kiss Revenge. Really, really cool. Sounds amazing. If you're not a Kiss fan, just give it a chance. If you like rock music, of any sort, just give Kiss Revenge a chance. I am standing by Kiss Revenge is my favorite Kiss album. Destroyer's second if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, over my shoulder over here, there's a copy of Destroyer on the wall back here, and it's signed by all the members. It's really cool. Which my brother also got me that too. I'll tell you, he's a good dude. I also picked up Psychotic Supper. This album is a Tesla record. Psychotic Supper by Tesla. Tesla kind of got lumped in, I think, with the hair bands, but they're not really a hair band. They're like, I don't know, like Southern rock, hard rock. I don't know really how to categorize Tesla, but their guitarist Frank Hannon, one of my favorite guitarists of all time, super talented, great band, great record after record after record, just great. But the age I was at, I got into Psychotic Supper, that album, and it's been really hard to find because they've only repressed it one time, and I found a sealed repress of it at a shop back home called Rick's Records. That's also a really good shop there in Northwest Louisiana. So I got a copy of that. It was sealed. I don't care. I open it. I'm buying the stuff to listen to. I'm not a collector per se. Really just love listening to the stuff. So it was super cool that I just found that flipping through the store. It's one of my favorite things is, like, I like ordering. That's fine. But I really love, like, the joy of, like, finding an album, like, just in the store. I'm just flipping through and I'm like, oh my gosh. That's the way I felt when I got Psychotic Supper. And I also found an OG Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 2. It was just crazy. Like, I love the feeling of finding that. It's like a little treasure hunt and really fun. So, and last record I want to mention that I picked up. Also, I don't know why I had trouble finding this one too. Outkast, Stankonia. It's my favorite Outkast record. But I walked in my local shop here, Carden Records up here in North Georgia, and there was one copy that John Carden had in there. Picked it up and I've been enjoying that too. It's actually on my turntable right now. Outkast, Stankonia. So I don't know what you picked up. But yeah, hopefully you got some vinyl for Christmas. That's what I got. I got a couple more, but I'll spare you. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to the show here in a minute, but first, record of the week this week, all cool records, but I also got another one from my friend Nick as a Christmas gift. I'm holding up Death Cab for Cutie, Plans. And, I may have mentioned this record before actually, and I don't really care because, I will keep featuring records that I love sometimes over and over again. So if you haven't ever listened to this, Death Cab for Cutie, Plans, here's what I love about it. It's a sad record in a lot of ways, but a hopeful record in a lot of ways. It's just really cool. And anyway, I got that for a Christmas gift as well. But this is the record of the week, Death Cab for Cutie, Plans. If you're on Spotify video or YouTube, you can see I'm holding it up, and you should try to go find it. This is also hard for me to find. When he gave me this, I was like, my friend Nick, when he gave it to me, I was like, where did you find this? And I just found it in a local shop. I think it may have been like a Barnes and Noble or something. I don't even remember. He was just walking through and saw it and got it, and super grateful. Go listen to it. Let's get to the show though. Let me introduce this band. Let me tell you a little story. This band, Liily, Liily. So for a while I called him Liily, like the first week that I was familiar with him, which was just a couple of weeks ago, in fact, which is kind of crazy how fast sometimes things happen. So New Year's Eve, we're watching this Miley Cyrus, Dolly Parton show. Miley had this thing on a New Year's Eve special, had a lot of bands and guests and stuff. She did a cool cover with David Byrne from Talking Heads of Let's Dance by David Bowie. Really cool. If you haven't seen that, you should look it up on YouTube. But there was a band that played the event, and it was Liily, Liily. So I at first said Liily, but they played their new single, Applause, and I was just like, this band is amazing. I was like, they kind of remind me a little bit of like Idols or Turnstile or a little bit of Interpol, but they also had like, so I start listening to more of them over the last couple of weeks, and they just have vibes. Like every song on their full length from 21, TV or Not TV is the name of their full length album from 2021. It's so different. It's so varying in terms of styles and influences and all that sort of stuff. And I think that's a focus of the band. I had a great conversation with their singer, Dylan Nash. He's an LA guy. They're all LA guys, young guys coming up in a great rock band. They just released Applause, the song that they did on the New Year's Eve special. They also covered a piece of the Beastie Boys Sabotage on there, which was just fantastic. So you should go watch that too. I'm going to link that in the show notes, and I'm going to put a link for the official video for Applause, the new single that just came out. They've got some more music coming out. They've got a tour with a band called Fidlar. If you've never heard of them, great band too. They're going to be on tour on the West Coast with them in February, and got some plans for this year. They're a great bunch of guys, all LA-based guys. And we didn't talk about this on camera, but off camera, Dylan told me he's a Saints fan. New Orleans Saints fan. If you know me, we've had that conversation. I'm from Louisiana. I'm a Saints fan. So right off the bat, I liked this guy, and we had a fantastic conversation. Go follow Liily on social media. They're Liily the band, but listen, it's Liily the band on all their social media, and lilytheband.com spelled the same way is their website. Go check out all their stuff. Buy some merch. Go see them if you're on the West Coast, all that sort of stuff. But for now, enjoy this great conversation that I had with my friend Dylan Nash. What's up, Dylan? How are you, man?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, dude. I got to confess, I had to look up a video interview of you guys because I kept telling people the band was called Liily.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Liily. It's Liily.
Yeah.
That's it. In the show opening, I'll do that too. But man, I'm a fan, bro. I appreciate you doing the show. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you also for being a fan.
Yeah, man, I saw the performance on Miley's New Year's Eve thing. It was wild.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Honestly, that was the first time I ever heard of you guys. I know it was just like a week or so ago, but I saw the performance. I was like, this band is amazing. And I reached out to your publicist, and this happened really fast. So I appreciate you guys making it work because you guys have a lot going on. What was that performance like for you guys? Was that amazing?
Yeah, it was definitely a culture shock for sure. Because we've never done that big of production, let alone like TV. But everybody was super nice, super accommodating. We got there, like every day was just kind of like a breeze,
Nice.
And when it was all this like pent up, like adrenaline and anxiety. And then the show happened and I don't remember any of it. So it's just kind of like, yeah, but, yeah. So
have you gone back and watched it?
Oh, a million times. Yeah. A million times.
Yeah. I've been texting links to people like from the video because the energy of the band, like the songs are killer. I went back and listened to the full length record, the TV or Not TV record, and back to the EP, and have listened through stuff all week long, just getting ready. And the records are phenomenal, but the energy of the live performance was just crazy, man. Chaotic and wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you. I think our biggest goal, as a band is to sort of capture the live energy. Cause that's our strong suit. If you want to take anything from the band, our strong suit is our live performance. And I think that's just the ultimate goal, is trying to encapsulate that energy. And I think that's one thing that I think the New Year's Eve thing really did well for us. And, was just, I guess, capturing that, that idea of live performance.
Yeah. I read somewhere, and I could be mistaken on this, that I know you guys did the Beasties cover of Sabotage on the show, but I read somewhere that like maybe you weren't going to do it at some point, or it was going to be a different song or something. Is that true?
So I think there was like miscommunication, I guess, on some point. So I guess, okay, we were originally going to do 2 songs. That's, I guess, there was some sort of miscommunication there. I don't know what it was, but we're going to do 2 songs, and we're going to do 2 originals. And then there was an idea thrown out there that maybe we should do a cover, Usually when we do covers, we don't do songs that people know, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that.
Or even if it's like the band's biggest song, like it's it's still not like the biggest song in the world.
Yeah.
But we were like, you know what? Let's kind of like get out of our comfort zone and do something. And we love the Beastie Boys, and once again, it's not really in our realm, but we felt like we could nail it, so we just kind of threw it out there and tried it.
Yeah. Well, you killed it. It was awesome.
Thank you. I was really anxious about it. That's why I've watched it a million times, because the entire time that I was there, like immediately, like the first day of rehearsal, before I even sing a note, I start having like throat issues.
Oh.
Like it's not from anything I did, because I had kind of, shut down and wasn't on vocal rest, but I was just kind of like being aware of my,
taking care of yourself.
Not trying to hurt my voice or anything like that. But immediately as I got off the plane, immediately after, like when I woke up, the day of our first rehearsal, just like I was super tight. It might have been like a nervous reaction or something, but
yeah,
I don't know. And like, yeah, it was hard to sing that song while I was on stage, and it was a little rough, but people liked it. So,
oh man, the energy was killer.
What am I to say?
Yeah. Where are you now? I know you guys are based in LA. You're in LA now.
Yeah.
Did you grow up there?
Yeah. Me and Charlie grew up in the Valley, if you know where that is. And Sam grew up in like Hollywood, pretty centralized Hollywood, and Max grew up kind of like mid-city, Culver City area. So
yeah. Are your parents musical? Did you like grow up in a musical household, like, or siblings or anybody?
Yeah. My dad has always been a musician. My sister does music as well. She's more on like the I would say more like pop, electronic, like production side of things. Yeah. Kind of with all that around me, I feel like did it my way in some sense. There was the influence there, for sure, but I don't know. I definitely feel like it was more of, I don't know. I feel like I took more like liberties when it came to the inspiration behind becoming a musician or the creative aspect of writing or any of that. Yeah. I didn't take much influence from my close surroundings,
Well, what's the first music you remember hearing when you were young?
Oh man. I've a few. That one Black Eyed Peas record with Let's Get It Started. I forget what it's called. It has like the elephant. I think it's like Elefunk or something like that. I don't know. That one and that first Gavin Degraw record. I know that sounds insane, but
nice.
But yeah, my mom really liked that Gavin Degraw record. And it has bangers on it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Duke and Right.
Also, Blood Sugar Sex Magic as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Charlie's gonna like that one. I had all those on CD, and they would just be in the car constantly.
Now, did you buy CDs? Because you've kind of grown up more in like the download streaming age.
Oh, so. Yeah. I definitely bought records for sure. I think until the download streaming thing didn't really start till I was probably like 9 or 10, I'd say. Well, the streaming thing didn't really happen till I was like, or I guess it didn't penetrate like my world until I was probably like 14, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was buying like CDs, or at least being gifted CDs,
Yeah.
when I was pretty much throughout my childhood.
You
And then
remember your first
iTunes,
one?
obviously.
You remember your first CD like that you bought with your money?
I don't know with my money, but I know the one that I picked out. It was, I'm pretty sure it was, Sergeant Pepper's.
Nice.
Yeah, that was like, I played that one a million times. That that was like my favorite record, for like the first few coherent years of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that influenced you as a writer a lot? Some of that early stuff.
Um, I'd say like the gravity of the weirdness on that record for sure.
Hmm.
Um, but not probably till later in my life. Um, yeah, because you always go in and out through Beatles phases, of course.
Yeah.
But it's hard to fully appreciate records when you're that young, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But was there one of those maybe that you go back to now, like a Sergeant Pepper? Maybe there's others that you go back and go, gosh, that record influenced me more than I realized, as the musician I am today. Because you mentioned you didn't really go about your musical journey like your dad did or like your sister did. You kind of
Yeah.
did your own thing. So were there records that you remember now that you go, gosh, I didn't realize that record was as pivotal to me as maybe I realize now?
Yeah, probably like Sergeant Pepper's was one of those. I think, um, like A Day in the Life, like a song like that, or
Mm,
it's just the sort of storytelling, lyrically, and and just like the different phases of that song kind of allowed me to, like, I guess, understand different types of music.
sure.
Because it's not like a rudimentary, like, A B
Yeah. Yeah.
type thing, so it allowed me to just, like, ease myself into, and like, I guess, think of songs a little more like in a more palatable way, I guess, and even if they're
Yeah.
not super palatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, the Liily stuff is so like genre encompassing. And if you're listening to the podcast, you never heard the band, you need to go listen to the band. It's a rock band, um, but there's elements of so many other genres. I'm going to use that word loosely. That it's kind of hard to categorize. It's super wild and alternative indie rock, but there's like electronic elements in there. There's like, I don't know, man. There's just it's a melting pot of things. Was that like a goal, or is that as a writer and as a band, or is that just something you feel like maybe comes from you and the other guys naturally from the music that you all kind of consumed in your life?
Yeah, I think we all just listen to so much music at once, and we are so passionate about so much music at once. So it's kind of like, how can we, um, afford to do all of what we love in one project?
Yeah,
And that's essentially what happens, and that's why all the songs on all our, EPs, records, or, singles that we put out, they all kind of sound different from one another, because it's just, how can we get this thing out?
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Well, that
it.
definitely comes across, man. I obviously I heard applause first on the TV performance, and I was like, man, this kind of reminds me of Turnstile or Idols, or
Thank
like
you.
really raw, crazy, you know punk alternative rock band, and then I go find the record, the TV or Not TV, the full length record from, I think it was 2021.
Yeah.
And listen through that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this song kind of sounds like the Beach Boys. And man, this song kind of, just there's elements of things I hear. And so it really is impressive what you guys can weave together. So you obviously have a lot of rich musical influences, either you or the band combined, So I think that's really neat.
Thank you. Yeah. I think definitely like Turnstile and Idols have been an influence for a lot of the stuff. Obviously with a grain of salt, like what Turnstile does is great, but that's them. What Idols does is great, but that's them, and I think more or less there's just so much influence around us. And we love so much music that it's just, how can we make it our own?
Yeah.
And that's, essentially what it is.
You remember what the first song was you played live ever? Like even in a garage or
like as whatever. A band or me?
Yeah, just you. Maybe it was your first band. Maybe it was 15 years ago.
Okay. So me, Sam, and Max were in the School of Rock, if you know what that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't go when Sam went, but
you're not talking about the movie, just for the listeners, not the movie. There's like a music
there's like a music program, but I do believe it was based off that, like the original owner, Paul Green and whatever. But I think the movie was based off the original one. That's what I was told. Oh, yeah, because it was in Philly and all that stuff. So, me and Max were there when we were like 6 or 7. So really young.
Oh my gosh, man. Wow.
Yeah. And my first ever performance was there. I don't know which song I did first technically, but I either did Brown Sugar by the Stones.
Nice. Yes.
Or Satisfaction. I can't remember which one it was.
Both great choices.
I did both, but I just don't know which one was first. And then, actually, I did a school talent show, and I did Imagine by John Lennon. But that was like a terrible, like I had never been on stage before, and I cracked under pressure.
It happens, but you had excellent taste, even as a 6 or 7 year old. So,
Yeah. It's like the rocker kid thing,
Yeah, totally.
Like the parents, like you start wearing like tight jeans, and you wear like the leather like wristbands and stuff. And it's kind of adorable, but it's a weird haunting past to have.
Well, you grew up in LA though, man. Like, you probably weren't alive for any of this. Well, you weren't alive in the 80s, but man, LA's got such a rich music history, and that was kind of my era. Like my first concert was Poison and Slaughter in 1991. Oh, wow. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. What was yours? What was the first live show you remember seeing?
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. There was a few that I had kind of been to. There was New York Dolls. I saw Green Day, nice. Pretty young. The Black Crowes. That was pretty much. I don't know which one was first, but it was one of those for sure.
Was there one that you saw that was like particularly impactful for you?
I think Green Day, just because I was a really big fan when I was growing up. I'd seen them a few times at that point. I think that was a pretty impactful show for me.
Have you guys ever been to a show as a band and just gone just for the sake of like, hey, let's all go see this artist that we love together?
I mean, just like going to like festivals and stuff and playing them, and you tend to like just go to shows. There's been a few. We saw Tenacious D.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
actually, some of us saw Tenacious D simultaneously as the other half were watching Lil Wayne.
Oh, nice.
I saw Tenacious D because that's a classic throwback for me. We saw Shame together in 2018. That was a really good show. I know they all saw Black Midi without me,
Oh, I
which I
love
was
that
kind of
band.
bummed about. Yeah, they're great. I mean, I could have saw them. It was at Great Escape in Brighton, but I just the circumstances didn't work out that way. But we saw the Strokes together
Oh, wow.
twice, actually, twice. We saw them at Lollapalooza and then at this like Celine fashion show thing. But we only saw
yeah.
a few songs, and yeah, there's a lot, you know.
Yeah, you guys seem so tight. Like you were saying, I think you said you and Charlie and Sam went to the rock school. Was that right?
No, Max and Sam.
You and
Me,
Max
Max,
and
and
Sam.
Sam.
So you guys have known each
Yeah.
other a long time.
Well, I didn't know Sam back then. He came like right as I left.
Oh, to the
Like
to
I
the
was
school of
walking
rock?
out the door, he was walking in. Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
Like I had met him through high school circles along with Charlie.
But you guys have known each other since high school.
Yeah, I've known them since freshman year of high school.
That's crazy, man. And you guys became a band in 2016, 2017?
Yeah. Well, they were already a band. I joined in summer of 2016. Like our first show was summer of 2016.
Nice. And then the EP in 19, the full length in 21, and now you guys got the new single Applause out. What else is coming? Because I can't imagine you would drop a song like Applause and then not release anything else in 23. You know what I'm saying? So what else is coming that you can talk about?
We have songs in the work for sure. We have one song finished. So hopefully that comes within the next month.
Oh, nice.
That one's kind of a stark contrast to Applause for sure. But yeah, all the songs that we're gonna kind of start putting out are, like I said, different from each other because of the plethora of influences we have. And yeah.
Well, TV or not TV feels that way too. So that makes sense to me, especially if you're leading into another full length, which I hope you are. It makes sense that it's going to be varied like that, you know. And you guys got a tour coming up in February. It looks like all West Coast stuff, huh?
Yeah, it's with Fidlar.
Oh yeah.
So this is their first like full tour back. We did their first shows they had done since 2019 were in threes. So one set was in September, the beginning of September, and then the second set was at the end of October. And we had played those 6 shows with them, and we just became buddies with them, and they took us on this tour that's coming up starting in February. And yeah, it's like their first like real run in a long time.
Nice.
That's not separated by like a month.
Yeah.
So
are you guys going to tour anymore after that this year? Do you have anything else in the works?
I mean, our agent's like constantly obviously like searching for things, but I don't know if we have anything set in stone. There's always talks about certain shows and tours and whatever, but as of right now, the Fidlar thing is the only thing that we have.
Yeah,
that's concrete.
I can't imagine something won't spawn for you guys as as massive as the New Year's Eve show, was for you guys. What led up to that? How did you guys get asked on to that show?
Miley. Yeah.
Just a fan?
Yeah. Well, she's dating Max. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So, yeah. So, she's been very supportive of our music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's super sweet. Just super supportive, and that's just kind of how it happened. And we're super grateful for it.
That's
Sure.
Super cool. Is there a band right now, if you could go out and support, like opening for any band that's out right now, who would it be? Who you want to go out with?
Oh man. There's a lot. I'd say like Fontaines DC. That would be a really fun one.
Yeah, that would be a great bill for you guys.
Yeah. Turnstile. Just like the energy. I feel like that would be a good match for sure. Like I said, Black Midi.
Yeah.
A lot of those would be super fun. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot.
Yeah. You guys got to make it out to the East Coast, man. There's a lot of great places to play over here. Turnstile was just here a couple months ago. They played here maybe 2 or 3 times in 2022, and my schedule did not meet up, with any of those shows. But
we played Atlanta at the end of 2021.
Oh, do you remember where you played? Remember what venue it was?
It was the Masquerade. It was one of the, I don't know which room it was.
Yeah, it's a great venue.
It was like I think the medium size room is at Heaven, Hell, and Purgatory. So I would say Hell, right?
Yep. Yeah, you know your stuff around Atlanta, I guess. You've been out here before?
Yeah. We played that, and then we had played actually a show with Fidlar. It was an after show. It was in 2019. It was an after show of Shaky Knees.
Oh yeah.
And we played what's it called? Something like Playhouse or something. It's like
Variety Playhouse.
The Variety Playhouse, yeah.
Yeah, down there.
And we had met them. We had met them back then, but nothing ever. We didn't really know them until we did this tour with them.
I saw Tower of Power there a couple months ago.
Oh wow!
A friend of mine called me and he was like, "Hey man, I got these tickets, and these people were supposed to go with him. He's a great musician too. He's like, his background's like horns, and like he was in like marching band in high school and stuff. He's like, we're going. You want to go? I was like, yeah, man, cool. Like, I'll go see anybody almost.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's a cool little venue too, man. I'll be excited to see if you guys get back out here. I'll definitely be there. There's a great place you guys should play over here called Terminal West. Kind of a little bit of a newer venue, but hopefully you guys can get around. It seems like you guys are just like meteorically like rising right now in the scene, and I don't think that's easy for rock bands to do. Is there something that you guys are focused on right now, or goals that you have for 2023 that you just want to see happen in your career?
I'm really into seeing the progression of it. I think that's the best part, I just want to see, more people start to show up in some aspect. Like I want to see how that builds and seeing like how people respond to certain songs and how that impacts the shows or whatever. I think that's the best part to me. It's just seeing the community build.
Totally.
Yeah.
if you had to pick one, well, let's do this. Let's do this. You get 3 records for the rest of your life. Only 3. Dylan Nash's top 3 records of all time. What are you picking?
Oh, man. How much time do I have?
30 seconds.
Oh man. Okay.
You're on the spot.
Siamese Dream
All right.
is definitely has to be there. Shoot. Why am I blanking right now? Let me quickly go into my Spotify because I need like the little
Everybody does that.
inspiration.
Everybody does that.
Oh man. Probably like the Battle of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That's right now at least. Like that record's just too much. It just I don't know it does a lot for me. Oof.
That was another band when I heard you guys. I went, man, there's like some elements of Rage Against the Machine in here.
Yeah, I'm literally just giving you like anthem bands right now, anthem rock, like stadium rock bands. And then I have to say, what's the story, Morning Glory?
Yes, that's in
Like
my top 10 of all time.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest records ever. But that's the thing. Like, they're stadium rock bands and some of the biggest records ever because you can listen to them and they're timeless. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So my 3 like biggest records, the ones I can listen to forever are Siamese Dream, What's the Story, Morning Glory, and The Battle of Los Angeles.
I love it. Yeah. Those are awesome. I did a bonus episode not too long ago on my top 10 albums of all time. And there's only I have one spot that'll float in and float out. But, man, for the most part, they kind of stay the same. And I would say they're probably like that. There was some Television Marquee Moon. That's not really a stadium record.
That's a great record, though.
Oh man, it's stayed in my top 10 ever since I heard it, which is a long time ago. But and now I'm on this quest, which I need to ask you about if Lily's going to do this. But I collect vinyl and I have like represses of all my favorite records, my 10 favorite records of all time. And now I'm on this quest of getting like original copies, like first presses. So I just got a first press of Pearl Jam Versus last week.
Oh wow!
And
expensive hobby.
Yeah, a little bit. It was like a promo, like a radio promo copy too. So I had I gave a little extra for it too. But dude, I started looking for Oasis. What's the Story, Morning Glory OG presses, and they only pressed it in the UK, and they're like $300. They're like crazy money, you know. For
and I bet most of them were on cassette, right? Like most of the original presses?
Man, I think Oasis, What's the Story was 96. So that would have been like really that would have been a good solid 3 or 4 years into the CD era. Cause I was a little bit like you, like, you know, holding on to CDs. I held on to cassette tapes and I just refused to like update to CDs. Cause I had like a couple hundred cassette tapes. I didn't want to buy all this stuff again, you know? But then I got a CD player in my car and I had to go buy all these records again. So we did they used to have these clubs back in the day where you paid like a penny for like 12 CDs. You probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but
yeah. They do that now. They do that now, but with vinyl. So it's kind of,
yeah.
I
do not need to find that and feed this habit anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Last question, man. What has been your favorite like piece of art you've been a part of making? Like the favorite, maybe it's a favorite song that Lily's done, favorite record, EP, whatever. Like what are you most proud of that you guys have done?
I'd say Oh man. I think I think TV or not TV, just because of
Mm.
it allowed us to sort of shake sort of the insecurities we had uh, leaving like the EP era, you know, um, just because, you know, we had written all those songs when we were like 17, 18, and uh, I think they just spawned from, you know, the urge to get music out versus like a real uh like creative step forward. And um TV or not TV was a similar thing, whereas like, okay, we have this urge to sort of, you know, break this stigma of being like a radio rock band or alt rock band, and like, let's make this just random like amalgamation of so many different genres, and see what happens. And I think it did a lot of things for us. You know,
Yeah.
I think it painted a new picture. And I'm super grateful for it. You know, now it didn't do as well as the EP, when it comes to like streaming and opportunities and whatever. But I think, it's allowing us to, feel more comfortable in our creative skin in some.
Yeah. You know, when I listened to the whole record, I had a long drive and I threw it on, I don't know, a week or so ago, and listened through the whole thing. I literally had this thought: it feels like a second record, not a first record,
Right.
to me. And maybe that was because of the EP, or you know, I had the same feeling way back in the day listening to the first Interpol record, and it just feels like a group of people that don't not don't care what people are thinking, but have a vision of what they wanted to do, regardless of how
Right.
the public reacted to it. And I think that kind of maturity in a first album is pretty remarkable, man. So I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to I'm looking forward to all the new music this year, and hopefully you guys will have a great time on the tour with Fidlar, and hopefully you'll make it out east this year too. I'd love to see you guys live.
Yeah. I hopefully we get out there soon. We're trying to get on our manager's, band's tour, the Walkman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're going back on tour, so hopefully they play Atlanta, and hopefully we play that show. That would be really fun.
Yeah,
We're
that'd be
huge
awesome.
Walkman fans over here, so
Nice.
yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate the time. I appreciate you being on the show. And if you're listening, please go check out Liily. Incredible band. I was just taken captive when I saw the live performance, and have just been into you guys, and spreading the word to all my buddies. And wanted to have you on, and so glad this happened, man. So best of luck to all you guys out there. Appreciate the time, Dylan.
Yeah, thank you for having us, or having
Awesome.
me, I guess.
Yeah, dude. Take care.
You too.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Dylan Nash from the band Liily. Great dude, really fun conversation. I wish them the best. There's a lot of young rock bands coming up, and I'm super stoked about that. Starcrawler is another LA based band I've talked about. Liily, like I hear of like these bands coming up, and I'm super excited that there's still young bands being formed out there playing like loud guitars and all that good stuff. So go check out Liily, Liily. Go check them out if you haven't heard their stuff. In the show descriptions, there's links to the New Year's Eve performance of Applause and the Beastie Boys Sabotage cover they did, as well as the official video for Applause. There's links to their social, which is just at Liily the Band, Liily the Band. And then their website is the same, lilytheband.com. So go check out all their stuff. Go check them out on the West Coast. If you're out there in February, they'll be on tour with Fidlar, as we talked about. And support rock and roll music. You know what I'm saying? support your local record shops and your local venues and all the things that keep things going. And make sure that you're following MyFi on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the things. We're just at MyFi Podcast, MYFI Podcast. So make sure you're following. Make sure you're subscribed on your favorite platform so you get all the notifications when we post new episodes. We got another one coming up in just a couple weeks with an incredible artist. Can't wait for that too. And got some great stuff lined up for January, February, March, as well as a couple bonus episodes we're going to sprinkle in. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. If you do, tell a friend, send links, share all that sort of stuff. We really appreciate that. And if you're looking for any MyFi merch, you can DM us on social. We got some stickers and hats and stuff like that. We'd love to send your way. If you'd like to purchase one, just let us know. So, but till next time, have a good one.